Texting. Are we live? We are live. We're live. We're live, America. We are live. Welcome back to the SAC. Happy Wet My Whistle Wednesday. The redoubtable himself.
It's neither right now.
So what? It's not over. I mean, it's not over.
Just a regular Wednesday.
Regular Wednesday here in the SAC. The redoubtable one is at the end of a 3-day cleanse, so he's so happy and full of energy.
I'm just a fucking curmudgeon right now.
You are a curmudgeon. You really are.
I was in my house just being negative as hell.
You was. I don't know why.
Because I haven't eaten in 3 fucking days.
Well, you had some chicken. Well, chicken sausage.
I had
salad.
4 little medallions of chicken sausage, shredded lettuce with artichokes, banana peppers, and brown mustard on top. It was
no
awful.
Avocado, huh?
We don't have any in our house.
Avocados, you can get a boat race on all of them. They got them cheap too. Avocados.
Look, I wasn't really trying to eat. That's why I had that.
No, but I'm saying if you're gonna eat something like that.
Then I had some cucumber and hummus, and then I stopped.
And then you stopped. So this is what it looks like when you don't eat for 2.5 days. The redoubtable one, Tom, is a highly questionable.
You wouldn't think with the size of this fucking mug.
Look, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I haven't eaten in days. And you're like, geez, can't tell.
You're also bundled up because it's a bit chilly here.
That's true.
It's a wee bit nipple here in the SAC. There was a tornado warning yesterday, and it was. I'll tell you what, cats, dogs, everything was coming down. I was starting to look at the trees in the backyard. Luckily, they were going like this and not like that, because that would have freaked me out. But we didn't lose power. But the kids got home 2 hours early and started 2 hours late. So yeah. So anyway, segment 1, we're trying to figure out what to start with. To his point. Look, the NFL final weekend, okay, everything got settled, but was there really a lot of, other than the Miami-Buffalo game, was there really a lot of drama here that was...
There wasn't a lot of drama, and there was a lot of bad football.
It was.
Maybe the most dramatic moment was Miami-Buffalo.
Yeah.
Even though they're both in.
They're both in, but
Miami freaking needed that.
But that's
game.
The 2 seed to the 5 seed. That's a huge swing.
And who did the Bills play now that they won that?
Steelers at home.
So they got the better draw at home against the Steelers as opposed to Miami going to Kansas City.
Yes, because of Patrick Mahomes, but in terms of the rest of the skill sets, Pittsburgh has a lot more weapons than Kansas City has. The problem is if damn this Watt guy,
he's out.
He's out again. I know, this guy's becoming Chris Sale. No, seriously. Last year, he's not there when it matters.
Yeah.
And when he is there, that defense is legit. When he's not there, okay,
he's that good.
He's that good. But I mean, the thing that after him, the drop off is it's staggering.
Yeah.
How they go from literally. You saw what Bailey Zappi did in 1/2 when he wasn't. I look like Joe Montana, and then he comes back on the field and he looks like Bailey Zappi again. It's like. So I don't understand that. Look, I expect a drop off because the guy led the league in sacks.
Yeah,
you're not going to replace that. But with them, it's a cliff.
It is.
It's literally a fucking cliff. Here's the other thing though. That quarterback has had 3 good games. They are using their weapons. They are getting everybody involved. They've been better offensively.
Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer.
He's looked good for 3 weeks in a row, for what it's worth.
This weekend was just a slop fest against the Ravens.
It was. Yeah, that was it was a quagmire. The weather was shitty. They weren't. Pittsburgh was going to get. Well, they had to win to get in, but they did. And the thing is, they're a cold weather team, so Buffalo's not going to have that advantage because Pittsburgh is used to shitty weather. So now
Buffalo's going to score.
Of course, yes, they will.
So
the question is. Can this kid keep doing what he's doing? Because if he can, I think they can stay with him. Because I don't think Buffalo can stop these weapons. I don't think they can. Okay, they got more. I'm telling you, those 2 running backs, that tight end, those 2 guys, they've got weapons.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for Buffalo, Mostert and Waddle were both out.
This is the other thing.
Because that would have changed that game.
That would have changed that game dramatically if those 2 were in the game. Pittsburgh's going to have, at least from an offensive standpoint, they're going to have all their weapons. So there was that. The rest of them, to his point, look, the Rams got in. I'm telling you right now, the Rams, people are sleeping on the Rams. Don't. That offense is legit. They're healthy. That quarterback's been there and done that. That
game,
you
know who they got, right?
Detroit. Mm-hmm. And think about that one. That's a storyline, huh?
The switcheroo of
the switcheroo, and now here they are.
Goff against Stafford.
I'll tell you what. We're going to talk about this, but I'm wondering who you think this is more important for, Goff or Stafford? Now, Stafford has the ring, mind you.
Way more important for Goff.
I think it is, too. He's got to sit there and go, all right.
Because they sent him away and said, give us Stafford. Yep. They got a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And it's not just Goff. It's the Lions.
But Goff got him in the playoffs. Stafford couldn't get him in the playoffs. Remember? They never got to the playoffs with Matthew Stafford.
Well, maybe they might have gotten in 1 year as a wild card and lost. No?
I don't know. They haven't been in a long time.
Because remember when they had like Calvin Johnson and shit?
No, but they still
teams.
no. But their defense. Right. They put up numbers. He put up numbers, but they didn't stop anybody.
Yeah. But also Green Bay was like legit at that time, so it was tough for them to win the division.
No, but they're still the wild card. They could have gone as a wild card. They didn't even get that close. No. I mean, so look, to me, that's what. There's a lot of great storylines.
I'm totally rooting for the Lions.
I mean, they're them and the Texans, baby. I'll tell you what. And he was texting me that kid, that drive. Mm-hmm. This CJ Stroud. I'm telling you right now, was
he perfect on the last drive of the game?
I think he was.
He was like 7 for 7.
7 for 7. Yeah, when they had to have it, this kid is no rookie. This kid's no rookie.
But now he's got to go against the fucking Browns.
I'll tell you what. As bad as this last weekend was, this next one's going to make up for it.
Okay, but here's the
look
other
at all
part.
These matchups.
But here's the other part. So we just talked about Stafford and Detroit and the Rams. The Texans are the ones who traded Deshaun Watson to the fucking Browns
and those picks became
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the storylines this Saturday, this weekend rather, are amazing. They are amazing.
But here's something I heard that scares me for CJ Brown.
CJ Stroud.
Yes, what did I call him?
Brown.
Sorry.
It happens.
I was just talking about the Browns.
See, I can't even blame Giggle Smoke on that. But anyway, go on.
Well, we were just talking about the Browns. But CJ Stroud.
Yes.
I don't know if this was a Twitter fucking reporter or I think it was actually somebody on TV. They were talking about how, maybe it was Jeff Saturday. CJ Stroud is one of the top QBs against zone defenses.
Is that right?
The Browns are the best man-to-man defense team.
Look at this matchup.
So they're not going to play zone.
No, they will not.
And I think it's going to be a struggle.
Listen, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that there's a lot of it. That's just another one of many intriguing matchups. People are sleeping on the Green Bay Packers. I'll tell you right now, Dallas better not sleep on the Green Bay Packers.
You're not picking the Packers, though, right?
We'll talk about this Friday night. I think they can beat them.
No.
Why not?
They can't.
Why can't they?
They're not as good on either side of the ball.
Their offense. Listen. That passing game.
There's no position where they're as good as the Cowboys. Not a single one.
On offense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think the Packers' defense is better than the Cowboys' defense. How about that? Yeah, it is.
No.
Since they have been a shell of themselves since they lost that kid, and everybody and anybody that runs on them can beat them, and Green Bay can.
You can run on Green Bay's defense.
I think Green Bay's better against the run than Dallas is. They're a bigger defense.
No way.
I think they are.
Look it up.
I will. I certainly will.
I'll look it up first.
I'll look it up. Let me tell you something. I'll look it up. You want me to look it up? I'll look it up. But anyway, that's one of many. What's the other ones? We've got. Hold on.
Well, I mean, honestly, Kansas City, Miami. I like that.
That's going to be a hell of a game.
That's the Sunday nighter.
Yeah.
And we're off on Monday, dude, MLK Day.
Dude, Monday night, Philly at Tampa.
That's a good one, too.
A good one. Dude,
because Philly's got some pressure.
And Philly loses that game. Oh, my God. Joe might be on suicide watch.
Yo, the thing is, it's crazy because there's a big part of me that still sees Philly as last year. And I keep thinking, they can't be that bad.
From an offensive standpoint, they should be as good. They got everybody back.
Exactly.
But correct me if I'm wrong, that line is still that line.
That offensive line, definitely.
They're still one of the top 2 lines in the damn league. I don't get it. I don't know what's happened with that offense. I get the defense falling off. Not only they lose a corner, they lost a couple of starters. They bring in Matt Patricia. Worst fucking move ever. Still don't understand that one. They've lost 5 out of 6. He came in 3 games ago. They've looked worse. All
right, so rush defense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cowboys are 13th.
13th.
Packers are 21st in rush defense.
Okay.
So neither of them are great, but the Packers are definitely worse.
And yet Green Bay is going to win.
You think so?
I do. I'll tell you why. Because Dallas is looking
I'll
at this.
gladly make up that game.
I'll tell you why Green Bay is going to beat these guys. Because Dallas is going to look past them. They are. They are totally going to look past them. They are looking at who can upset. They're not. They think this game is in the bag.
Here's the thing. If Mike McCarthy wasn't the coach of Dallas, I'd agree with you.
Oh, I think that's exactly why.
No, he wants to beat Green Bay.
He doesn't care about
He's from Green Bay.
He doesn't care about that shit.
Bullshit.
He's
you are full of shit on that
He's trying to figure out how to beat the 49ers. He thinks they're the only thing between them and a Super Bowl.
Oh, well, he better win.
And I got news for you. He's dead wrong.
Better wake his ass up.
Because I got news for you. There are 4 teams in that conference that can beat them, and Philly ain't one of them. Okay? So
why is he he can't be thinking about 49ers because they wouldn't see them until the championship game.
I'm telling you right now, he thinks when he got home field, this is in the bag. They're in the championship run. It's all about, are they going to San Fran or are they hosting it? He's praying. He thinks the Rams, and he's not necessarily wrong because when they were at full strength, the Rams only lost to him by a touchdown. They stayed with them, and I think the Rams were missing what's his nuts there, Cooper Kupp in that game. Cooper Kupp's back now.
But the Rams have to beat the Lions first.
That's going to be maybe the best game of the weekend.
I don't think the Rams are going to beat the Lions.
That game's going to go back and forth.
Yeah,
you watch.
That's going to be a
30-something game. You watch. That's going to be.
It better be.
I got news for you because neither defense is going to stop. Here's the difference. I think the last time I checked, Aaron Donald's still breathing.
Okay, it doesn't seem like
he's still the best. He's still the
but
best.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, he's there, and
I think Aiden Hutchinson's a more impactful defender than him right now.
He might be, but I haven't heard either one of them that often. So,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, so I'm just saying that I think that that game is going to be a 38-35 barn burner. I really do.
That'd be fun.
I think it's going to be fun, and I think all the games this weekend are going to be fun. I'm telling you, all these matchups are intriguing for various reasons. To me, if I'm, San Fran, I'll tell you what, this is why having that bye is so huge, because in an era of parity, these teams are all going to beat the shit out of each other this weekend. There's going to be a lot, because again, now you're in the playoffs.
Well, that happened last weekend.
It did, kind of.
There was injuries galore.
There were, and this weekend, because now every one of these games, I think, because
the weather's going to be shit again.
I think all of these matchups are good, because I'm telling you right now, Green Bay has the passing game to give the Cowboys fits. And this kid, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. I'm telling you, he's had a hell of a second half. This Love kid.
They had an easy schedule, though.
You still got to do it. It's one thing to say that. It's something to actually do it.
I know, but the Giants did it last year, and then when they faced the big dogs, they got slapped.
Well, these guys have more weapons than the Giants did.
Well,
they did. You had Slayton, and that was it. And what's in the backfield?
But they got a bunch of rookies at receiver.
They're good, though.
They're all right.
He's throwing 32 touchdown passes to somebody. He ain't throwing it to himself. Remember, folks, to quote Giselle, he can't throw it and catch it.
Okay, so on the NFC side, to me, that's the worst matchup. Packers-Cowboys.
That's going to be a good game.
And I could be wrong about that.
That's going to be a good game.
On the AFC side,
you need a Charger, don't you?
I don't really like the Steelers-Bills matchup. I think Buffalo's going to slap the shit out of them.
No, they're not. Because I think Pittsburgh's going to. I think Buffalo's going to win that game, but Pittsburgh's going to put up points. Because this kid, for 3 weeks in a row now, is finding his weapons. He's not doing what the other two did. He's throwing to Pickens. He's throwing to the tight end. He's using Warren out. By the way, Warren out of the backfield is devastating.
He's awesome.
Devastating. He's got a. I'll tell you what. If they maximize him, Buffalo's going to have a problem because I don't think they can stop him either. That's going to be another one. Could be a shootout. I don't care what the weather is. They're both cold weather teams.
Let's think about our weekend here. Shit. So I'm going to be in Fredericksburg on Saturday. Damn.
All day, all night.
So we have the basketball game
at 1:00.
At 1:00.
Yes.
Then my mom's birthday is tomorrow. We're going up to celebrate Saturday.
Okay.
Eating dinner with them at 4, but then we'll be coming back.
So you'll be back for the 8:00 game?
Maybe. So I'm gonna miss the fucking Browns Texans.
That's gonna be a hell of a game. That's gonna be a hell of a game.
I'm a little nervous for CJ, man.
I am too because that defense is that
defense is legit.
But look, this kid. Look at this.
If anybody will show up, it's him.
This kid is not going to flinch. He's been in big games before. It's going to be a great matchup. I'm telling you. I think this weekend coming up is going to make up for what happened last weekend. Yeah. I think all these matchups, and I'm telling you, people that are sleeping on Pittsburgh and Green Bay, don't make that mistake because they got the firepower to hang with these teams. And in Buffalo's case, where Buffalo's biggest advantage normally at this time of year is if a team's coming from a warm climate. Pittsburgh's a cold weather team. They're not afraid of this. It's not going to faze them one bit. Yeah, and Mike Tomlin is the better coach. Let's be honest here.
I mean,
Mike Tomlin's a better coach than this guy.
In most matchups, you could say that.
Well, I think has it not mattered down the stretch? I think it has.
Yeah.
I think it's had something to do with it.
I'm not saying
I think it's had something to do with it. And everybody's still calling for his head in Pittsburgh, which is the other thing. He gets in the playoffs, all this shit going on, and people still want him fired. Hey, just keep throwing gasoline on that fire and motivating that coach and that team because his players love him. Keep doing that. Keep doing it. I have no problem with it. And I'm not a Steelers fan, don't get me wrong. But if you think that the Buffalo's going to boat race them with that offense, you're crazy.
Yeah, see, I don't understand that mentality of like.
By the way, how bad was Josh Allen Sunday night for a good portion? I'll tell you what, to your point, if those two guys had played, Miami wins that game.
But like, I don't understand the mentality of a coach who has your team in playoff running every year. Every single year.
He's never
for 17 years.
He's never had a losing record.
Like, okay,
in
so
17 years.
So I root for the Mets and the Giants. Mm-hmm. The Mets, in their history, have never made the playoffs 3 times in a row.
Ever.
In their history.
Really? Ever?
Ever. Huh. They've only made it to the playoffs.
Not even in the mid-'80s when they won a world. They weren't even then?
No. Huh. They've only made it to the playoffs twice in a row, like 2 times. Once was it might only be 1 time.
There's a fun fact.
And one of them, 2015, they made it to the World Series. The next year, they got knocked out in the single elimination wildcard game. The Giants, okay.
They didn't go to the playoffs the year before they made the World Series?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Came out of nowhere with pitching.
Wow. It's coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, the Giants, they won the Super Bowl in 2007. They won the Super Bowl in 2011. Mm-hmm. In between and after, it's like nothing.
That's crazy.
Now, the Giants...
I didn't know that. I mean, I wouldn't know. That's on my team.
The Giants have made the playoffs, but they've gotten boat raced in the first round.
But they've made it 3 consecutive years in a row, though.
Oh, in their history,
yeah,
yes.
they have. Because in the 90s when they had Lauren Elton, they were good every year.
But like the past 15 years, it hasn't met. It's like, okay, I'm not complaining because we got 2 bowls.
Yeah, you do.
But
it's 2 more than most people.
But like the past 6 years, we got last year as our 1 playoff appearance.
Yeah, you got to win and you lost. You won a game, got to the final 8.
But still, it's like, and now this year we sucked. So if I had a coach that had me every year. Team playing well.
And you're in it again.
Like,
and everyone, look, when they lost that Pats game, think about this. They lose to Arizona and New England back-to-back. That would have crushed 90% of the teams in this league.
Yeah.
Would have crushed them. What did this guy do with a 3rd-string quarterback, I might add?
I mean, that's the other thing to think about, too, though, because for those 17 years, he did have Ben.
Yeah, but he hasn't had him.
Well, for the past 2.
But they've had winning records.
Yeah, no, I know.
Unlike a certain dickhead.
You do have to acknowledge that, like, he had the franchise quarterback to have that.
He doesn't. The difference between him and Belichick is he doesn't pick his players.
Yeah.
He has to do the best he can with what he has. He has no say in it. Okay? So
they make some good picks, though, Pittsburgh.
They're wide receiver They always draft good receivers. They rarely miss on a wide receiver.
They always.
I don't know if they've ever missed in my
They normally have 2 studs.
They normally have 2, not 1.
And they're not like 6'4" monsters.
No.
They're fucking burners.
I mean, Hines Ward was a bulldozer.
Well,
that dude,
he was a possession kind of
But
guy.
they had plexical burst before he went to the Giants.
That's
he was
true.
good there. I mean, they have rarely missed.
Dude, then they had Antonio Brown. Santonio Holmes.
If Antonio Brown's head wasn't up his ass so far that he have to open his mouth to wave at people,
he's one of the best ever.
He's his stats for like a 5-year run there are up there with Jerry Rice for a 5-year window. That's how good he was. So no, they always hit on those. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they're 10-7. The AFC was loaded this year. There were 11 teams going the weekend that were 500 or better in the AFC. In the last weekend of the season,
good teams.
They did beat some good teams.
They beat the Ravens.
Yep.
I think they beat the Browns.
They beat the Browns. Yep. They did. They beat some good teams.
They lost to the Pats.
I don't understand that. I still don't understand. Well, I know what happened. J.J. Watt got hurt. Or T.J. Watt got hurt. If T.J. Watt plays that whole game, they don't lose that game.
Yeah, I mean
that was fool's gold, and it cost the Pats the number 2 pick. So it was a dumb win. It was a useless win. And look, but I'll tell you right now, Mike Tomlin will have that team ready. And the thing is, Josh Allen is fully capable of serving one up. He did it I'll tell you now. If those 2 guys
but there's got to be some sort of rush. And without TJ,
Miami was more banged up on defense than Pittsburgh was.
Chubb was out.
Chubb was out. Miami. In fact, everyone thought that Buffalo was going to drop 35 on them because of all the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and they couldn't do it because he kept throwing picks. And the first touchdown pass, talk about lucky. The thing goes 30 feet in the air, and kudos to the receiver for having to make the play. Yeah. But are you kidding me? Come on, that was bullshit. Yeah. If you're hoping for that Buffalo's weekend, don't. So, but anyway, these are all going to be good games. We're going to close this segment off, come back. We're going to talk NBA. Knicks are moving on up. Celtics had a dawn. That might have been the best game of the year tonight.
That's a pretty good game.
It was a pretty awesome game. There were people missing on both sides.
But there's something, that's what to me makes it not the game of the year.
Well, they were both missing their starting center. And Conley's 34, whatever he is.
But he's their starting point guard.
11 points a game. I'm not sold on Mike Conley anymore. I was 5 years ago.
Yeah, he's good. He's not great.
Yeah, he's not great. No. I mean, but I will say this.
But, it would have been nice to see them both. Come on, let us see the goddamn matchup. Don't sit everybody.
No, well, yeah. Well, I think they sat Porzingis because they saw that what's-his-nuts was out, Gobert, and we don't need him for this one. I think honestly I think that's what they said. I think that's what they saw, that Gobert was out, and they're like, all right, we'll sit him. Honestly, because he played the other night, and he played well. And he looked fine. Okay, again, 2 nights before he got his eye poked halfway in the back of his head. I saw that. That was legit. Okay, because honestly, Naismith's up. I'll tell you, that's 3 Celtics he's hurt this year. 3 every game he's injured.
Who is this guy?
We drafted him, and every time he sees us.
Does he have relation to the man who started the sport?
No, one's white, one's African American. No.
What's this guy's name?
Aaron Naismith. And he has hurt 3 Celtics in 3 meetings this year, 3 different ones. And he's playing well for them, but he's pissed off the Celtics traded him. There was nowhere for him to play. He was behind Tatum and Brown. What was he going to do? He wasn't going to pass either one of those two. So what was he going to do? They did him a favor because now he's playing a lot of minutes and he's playing well. And he's on a pretty good team. So it's not like the Celtics porked him and sent him to Siberia somewhere, where he couldn't, some lousy team.
Where did you say he is now?
Indiana. And
so he's just a bruiser?
He averages double figures. He's a pretty good player. But they drafted him early. He came in. It was him and Peyton Pritchard in the same draft. And rookie year, looked like he was all right, but he didn't get a lot of minutes. But he wasn't gunning with those guys. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in segment 2. Lastly, we're going to close with this. Robert Kraft, for the love of fucking God. For the love of fucking God. It is Wednesday night at 10:21 in the evening, and this ass clown is still employed by the New England Patriots. What on God's green earth are you waiting for? Don't you dare say respect. Don't you fucking say. Respect buys you 24 hours, not 72.
I'm not saying anything.
This whole thing, and they don't want to fire him on Black Monday. Give me a...
Why not?
Why not? Given the moves he's made in the last 4 years, Black Monday would have been a favor. They should have fired him before kickoff yesterday, just to make sure they didn't win the game on Sunday. And now, thankfully, the Jets did win the game, and they were doing snow. I mean, give me a break. And that stadium was half empty. There was no moment. He hit himself. Fans actually tried to wave to him, didn't look at anybody. Typical ass clown Belichick. I mean, honestly, what is the point?
Just miserable.
Just get rid of him. Because here's the thing. If you actually think this son of a bitch is going to agree to either A, you can trade me for compensation, and where I go, I'll lose my first round draft pick, or B, okay, he's gonna just coach and give up power. You are absolutely fucking delusional. This man will never give up his power. He will never give it up. He never. And
I'd like Brian Dable to hire him.
He won't work
as a D coordinator.
He'll never do it. That's worse than what I'm talking about. He'll never do it.
But full circle. Giants defensive coordinator.
That will never. Ever
We'd win a championship.
If you'll probably fire Dable and hire Belichick.
At this point, my God, I don't know what the.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't
in
rule
Giant Land.
I wouldn't rule it out. He is a Giant. He won his first
fucking soap opera city.
I mean, why not? Giving Wink that whole thing. And by the way, is he still technically employed? We spoke this afternoon.
No, I think
has anything happened since you and I spoke this morning?
But it's so the way news filters out, you can never tell what's real and what's not.
Do you want to tell them the story real quick? What happened?
But see, here's the thing. I don't even know if that's real.
Well, who did you hear it from?
It's all over Twitter.
Okay. So not reliable sources.
Well, I mean,
what he heard was that there was a fight, or an hour. He basically blasted Dayball.
So Dayball told him, "Hey, I'm firing Bobby Johnson,
who's close friends,
who's a good, that's the offensive line coach that Dave's had, I think, in Buffalo.
Yeah,
brought him with him.
Yeah,
or one of the coaches he had brought him with him.
Yeah,
fired him because our offensive line has been shit for 2 years.
Yeah,
okay, you had to.
Yeah,
and he told."
And you said that a couple weeks ago. You thought it might be coaching as much as missing on draft picks, and you may have been right.
No, dude, we've been saying that the entire year.
Yeah, so
you got to develop these guys. Now, then he told Wink, "I'm firing some other people." Two of which, the Wilkins brothers. These two defensive coaches that have been with Wink. They were at Wink in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Wink brought them.
Yeah,
and Wink went crazy, cursed them out, left, went to Florida. Told his family, friends, I don't know, somehow, a
TMZ reporter or somebody.
that he was resigning.
Okay.
But had never said anything to the Giants.
Okay.
Now, Dave's had talked to the media and said, Kafka, Oaksey, and Wink are, I expect them both to be back. Mm. And then this whole thing happens with Wink, and it's like, I heard tonight that they've parted ways.
Okay, so it's official now. He's gone.
But I don't know if that's real or not. Again,
where'd you hear
it's
it?
like I saw it on Instagram, I think.
What did ESPN say? Did they report anything? Because if it's on ESPN, it's official. I wouldn't go to the New York. If ESPN breaks a story, it's usually official.
Let me see if I can find it. Because the New York Post did an article on it.
It's interesting because, look, I don't know who's trying to get the best soap opera of the season, whether it's the Giants or the Patriots. I know in the Patriots case, there are people up there that actually think because Josh McDaniels is now floating around that he's going to come back as the head coach. McDaniels going to be offensive coordinator and everything's going to be hunky-dory. It's not.
Okay, here we go. So the New York Post is reporting Giants Wink Martindale drama ends with mutual breakup. That was today at 2:20.
All right, that was after I spoke this morning.
So this is in the paper. That doesn't mean it's real, but it feels more real than just some random person on Twitter.
I would trust the Post before I trust Twitter. Let's put it that way.
But the Post is pretty...
Are they inaccurate a lot?
No, they're just very dramatized.
The story's right up there.
So as soon as Wink Martindale on Monday cursed and stormed out of the office of head coach Brian Daboll, it was clear that Martindale's days as the team's defensive coordinator were numbered. That number came up Wednesday afternoon when the team announced the Giants and the D coordinator have mutually agreed to part ways. What does that deceptively cordial language mean? Martindale can be hired by any other team, and the Giants do not pay him the $3 million he was owed under his contract in 2024. If
he's hired,
I guess. Lawyers from both sides negotiated an agreement without the Giants' front office or Martindale getting involved. Thus ends a colorful 2-season stay that at times for Martindale was filled with quality play from his unit, other times was lacking in production at that end, and was filled with too much friction with his boss to endure any longer. Like, God damn, why can't y'all get along?
I tell you, the drama in this league, and that's unbelievable. I mean,
so this leads me to believe a lot of the stuff I was seeing on Twitter was real, because people on Twitter, and some of them are reporters, were saying, they heard that basically halfway through the season, Wink Martindale threw Xavier McKinney under the bus. Like McKinney was frustrated or something, and Wink Martindale was in front of a camera and said, like, I don't know what he's talking, like kind of like shitted on Xavier McKinney, who was one of like the leaders of the defense. So then the next week, Daboll gives McKinney the game ball. And now Wink is upset about that and is so petty that...
What is it with these New York Giants coaches?
And then other people are saying that, remember, it was like, again, it was 3/4 of the way through the season. A story came out in the Post or in some paper that said, Daboll and Wink, there's tension. Like, they're not meshing well. So people are saying that one of Daboll's assistants or one of Wink Martindale's assistants or Wink himself leaked that to a reporter. Why would you do shit like that?
I don't know.
That's fucking corny as fuck.
You
telling a reporter.
Any of you out there, I will say this though. Any of you out there who's ever been a manager, like I have been and he has been, of adults,
And I no longer am.
And I no longer am either. And I'll tell you what, I sleep so much better at night. These are adults, and the drama is there. It's there. True. No matter whatever walk field you're in, business you're in, it's there. If you're in charge of people, it's there, and you're dealing with it. It's almost as bad as much as your daily what you have to do for work.
Oh, yeah.
On top of that, then you got to deal with what your crew, your team, or whatever. And there's always fucking drama.
Yeah,
there's always fucking drama. It doesn't matter.
You're right.
No one's ever. You can't. There's never a time when everybody's happy, and that includes the Christmas party. And never everybody's happy.
No, there's never a time where almost everybody's happy.
No, you're lucky if it's half.
Like
if it's half, you're winning.
And you're right. It's almost like people think they're in a movie.
They do.
And they think, because I remember finding shit out from my team about how they thought, and this was, working in a corporate setting, they thought I was sabotaging somebody's career. So the whole team had turned on me.
Move aside, J.R. Ewing. We have Thomas J.
Exactly. I have time to sabotage somebody's fucking career? I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing with my own career. You know what I'm saying?
He's trying to destroy me.
I wake up every morning and I wing it. And so I find out my entire team has thought I'm some kind of backstabbing saboteur. They've all been talking shit behind my back because I confronted somebody that was giving me an attitude. I was like, what is the problem?
Yeah.
And they're like, because of what you did to so-and-so. And I was like, what did I do?
So-and-so.
What did I do?
You know what you did.
Exactly. They said that.
Don't deny.
And I was like, no, I don't. Then they started telling me what I did, sabotaging this other person's career.
I'm telling you.
And I was just I was in shock.
Yeah.
And I think some tears came out of my eyes because I was flabbergasted, first of all, that a person who I thought respected me and who I respected thought I was sabotaging somebody's fucking career.
That's unbelievable.
Somebody who I was in charge. It's true. It's just people find a way to fuck it up. My dad always said everything would be good if it wasn't for people.
Dad's right.
Now, unfortunately,
to quote Brian McCosh,
we need people.
Becky's older brother, the middle one, it's always the middle one. He says, and I quote, it's his favorite quote: "People suck."
Yeah.
they suck, and they do. And listen,
they're also beautiful and amazing. But my God,
you
when it goes wrong,
you cannot be in charge of them because honestly, they will. And I went through this.
You gotta be a special person.
Went through this at ADT, and it was weekly. Every effing week, no matter what was going on, there was another episode. Yeah. There's another episode of AT&T.
Right. And every weekend, weekend on Sunday, you dread it because on Monday when you go back,
you can't even enjoy your weekend.
You're going to hear
because you're going to go into Monday and you're just like, what holy hell is waiting for me Monday morning?
Yeah. And that's why it's like, and that's why some people feel you have to be a fucking hard ass.
Yeah.
Because you have to stop shit like that from happening. Yeah. So people have said that mid-season when the reports came out,
you got to be Sonny in a Bronx Tale. Would you rather be respected or feared?
Feared.
That's a tough one, but I think I'd rather be feared.
Yeah, it is a tough one. But so they said at one point during the season when the shit was leaked about Daboll and Wink not getting along, the defensive staff, Daboll went into a defensive meeting and said, if anybody has a problem with me, tell me.
Yeah, at least
talk about it.
He confronted them.
So he confronted them.
And they all clammed up.
Everybody was little bitches.
Yep, they're all.
And then apparently he confronted them again. Again, this is all the shit I've been reading. I don't know what is real and what's not.
Yeah.
But the more you hear about it, 90% of it's got to be fucking real.
Well,
it's just bullshit drama created by unhappy people.
Yep. And you guys all know the story broke last Friday about the downfall of the Patriots and how Bill Belichick wanted to bring Matt Patricia back. So instead of firing him for that, which is what Kraft really should have done, he goes, no. I'll get the offensive coordinator. He gets O'Brien, who he's known to work with. You think Bill be okay with that? No.
Bill was still stomping.
Bill was like, no. He's not going to hire. Fine, you can hire the tight ends coach. That's it. That position has 3 people. That's it. Then there's the offensive line. Bill hired him. There's the receivers coach. Bill hired both of them. There's the running backs. He hired everybody else. And so he sabotaged it. This is before the season even fucking starts. Okay.
So O'Brien didn't get to.
He never had to pick the staff he wanted. And then at the draft, when everybody knows they need linemen and playmakers. Dickhead goes defense, defense, defense. The best guy lasts a month and gets knocked out for the season. The other two guys, we never heard of him again after week 3. Okay, he drafts a lineman in the 4th round, doesn't draft a receiver till the 6th. Okay, fails to bring back Myers, fails to sign Hopkins, had the money to do both, and loses 8 games by 1 score or less. But America, it's all Mac Jones' fault. Remember that.
Dude, okay, I've said this before.
That's beyond drama.
I've said this before, but now I'm going to double down on it. Oh. The longer this goes on, the more it becomes Robert Kraft's
He has to
fuck
fire.
up.
He has to fire him.
Because
he has to stop getting sentimental.
Right.
And
he
let
is
the
the
fucking
only
guy,
one that can end
cut
it.
the guy loose and stop with the whole look at. You build him a statue, he'll show up.
Yeah,
he'll fucking show up.
And I think you can.
Yeah, you can
build one next to Brady. Brady's is bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. He's tall.
But they were both part of the greatest run,
the greatest dynasty in the history of the NFL. It'll never be duplicated. 9 Super Bowls in 18 years. Yeah. You will never see that again.
But it's not that anymore.
No, it's not.
It hasn't been that for years.
It's mudslinging 101.
And he's made too many critical judgment errors.
And by the way,
his judgment is off.
They're boneheaded errors.
Yeah,
they make him. Judgment. I was talking to Pete today. Hey, Pete, I'm sure you're watching. And Pete said this. He goes, the last 4 years, the things he's done, it undermines the genius that he is. He looks like an idiot. I'm like, Pete, maybe he was never a genius. Maybe Tom Brady just fell into his lap. And then he goes, well, he drafted Seymour. You're like, Pete, he knows defense. He's always Vince Wilfork. Yeah, he knows how to draft defense. The last offensive player he drafted was Rob Gronkowski, and he fell into his lap in the 2nd round because he was supposed to be a first-round pick, but because of injuries, he fell in his lap in the 2nd round. That was luck, by the way. He didn't move up to get him. He fell on his lap. If Rob Gronkowski didn't have the injury history, he'd have been picked in the top 15. The Pats never would have got away from him. Never would have got away from him. That was luck. That was luck.
Look,
okay.
I don't think it's necessary to try to just downplay what he did in the time when he's successful. All you have to do is look at the last
4 years.
Yeah, or 7.
Yeah,
because that includes like the Malcolm Butler shit.
Oh my God!
And that includes the lack.
And everybody knows that's no secret. Everybody up there knows about that.
That includes the lack of Pro Bowlers drafted.
One Pro Bowl punter in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, drafting kickers, then cutting them. By
the way, he cuts what's his name, Nick Falk, this year because he says he can't make a kick beyond 45 yards. He was 6 for 8 beyond 45 yards, and he missed 3 field goals all year long. Meanwhile, the guy he drafts probably cost him 2 games just on his leg because he couldn't make an extra point or a field goal. I mean, give me a goddamn break. So look, it's got to end. It's got to end.
The judgment is gone.
It's got to end now. Why are we waiting? Is it going to be any better if you drop him on Friday than if you drop him on Thursday? Will another day make him feel a little bit more respected, Bill?
Here's the only thing that could be happening is that Kraft has given him that choice of like, hey, you can stay,
but you're only the coach.
That's the only thing that could be happening, right?
I hope to God that's not the case. I hope to God that's not true, because he will undermine that, like you read about.
You're probably right.
He will undermine. This guy needs to go.
He's too petty for that.
You cannot let this man be in this facility when you've got the 3rd pick in the draft. Okay, you've got over $100 million under the cap to fix
the 3rd pick.
The 3rd pick, and you can fix this offense if you get the right people. And again, before we go to break, I'm going to tell you my list right now. This is my wish list. It's Eric Bieniemy 1. Okay, it's Jim Harbaugh 2, Mike Vrabel 3. Those are my top 3. Gets any one of those 3 as coaches, I'll be happy.
Dude, what about Arthur Smith? Falcons just got rid of him. He's out there.
We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Oh, hold on. I have one more question for you, okay? We're not going to spend too long on this. You're the one that prolonged this segment because you said, just one more thing before we go, and then brought up the Patriots.
Oh, well, I had to talk. Are we not a Boston, New York? I didn't even mention the first 20 minutes. We had to talk about it. America wants to know.
Okay.
Is Bill here? Is he gone?
Here's what I'm bringing up. After that championship game.
Which one?
The college football playoff championship.
I want to let that go.
I know, but
he has to bring it up.
I'm bringing it up because, man, Penix looked different.
Penix looked like a guy who was playing hurt, which apparently he was.
He was playing hurt?
Yeah, he was injured. He was playing injured. I found that out the other day.
What was wrong with him?
I don't know. Something on his side. He
got hurt in the game.
No, he was hurt before the game started, and he played.
What?
Yeah, it came out after the game that he was playing hurt. I didn't know about it. There was no one said a thing before the game. Okay, Look at. I am not
question.
to judge a man who, of the 15 games he played, had 14 great ones and one average.
I know.
And it wasn't just anybody.
Less than average.
Whatever. If he was playing hurt, I give him a pass. Okay. The bottom line is this: his line got. Here's where Michigan won this game. They got the offensive and defensive lines for Michigan dominated this football.
Yeah.
That's where the game was lost. It really was. And look, because he and again, there's two throws in particular that if he makes them, it's probably he misses one guy in the end zone.
It's a tight game.
It's a 2 touchdowns right there that were off the board. The guy makes the double move and he misses him by a foot. And so that
was on a 4th down.
On a 4th down. If he hits them, it's probably still
touchdown.
It's a touchdown. So I mean, look, he was off a little bit, but again. It's one game out of 15.
I know. I still loved him.
I still love him, and I still think he'll be a great quarterback in this league. He's tough. He's resilient. He blamed himself. And he owned it.
Oh, I didn't see
He took ownership. He didn't point a finger at anybody else. He said, I didn't play to my standards tonight, and it's my fault. This is on me. He took ownership, and to me, that's the best sign of a leader is that when he messes up, he doesn't point fingers and doesn't run around. He did that. So to me, if they get Marvin Harrison Jr., here's the good news for me. Because of this, there are people that he may drop to the end of the first round or the early second round.
Well, it seems
he may drop. And if he drops and the Pats get him at 34, I will not complain. So to me, it's either Jaden, if they go quarterback, Jaden Daniels 3 or Marvin Harrison Jr. 3, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is the can't-miss pick of this draft. If you haven't seen this kid play, you're an idiot. Because he is.
Dude, what about Penix is number 1?
No, he's not going to go number 1.
Ozune? What's his name?
Caleb Williams is going to go 1, I think. Because the Bears are going to
go 1. No. I'm not saying going number 1. I'm talking about being
the Patriots
receiver. No, receiver.
Oh, his guy. Oh, Winston. Yeah, he's a first round.
That guy's fucking.
Yeah, he's legit. Yeah, he's a first round draft pick.
I don't know his name.
It's Unse or something like that. It's he's good though. He's a stud. But look, congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. They won that championship. They were the better team. And I've said before, and I'll say it again. Sometimes your opponent makes you do some things, and kudos to them. Because they were better. Congratulations to Jim Harbaugh. I know he's going pro now because he's got a loaded gun to his head with the NCAA. So, to me, if the Patriots end up with Jim Harbaugh as head coach, I'm not going to be upset about it because he's an offensive-minded coach.
You sure he's going pro?
Do you know what's waiting for him with the NCAA allegations? He's going to get – that's waiting.
Really?
That's not over. That's not over.
For the sign stealing?
He comes back. They haven't finished that whole thing yet. Not even close.
So you think there's more?
Oh, there's a lot more. And I think he will take the best offer.
Denver's losing to Utah.
Yeah. I told you. You in the car tonight. What'd you say? Tell them what you said.
I said
Utah sucks. They're up 11 in Denver. No, it's in Utah. I'm sorry, it's in Utah. End of the first, by the way. 35 points the first quarter.
35.
We're going to come back segment 2. Talk NBA. Donnie of a Brook up in Boston, like the two top dogs in the league, squared off. They were both missing starters. It went to overtime, just like the first one did. So Jason Tatum found his huevos just in the nick of time. Jaylen Brown, by the way, was awesome throughout this game. Jaylen Brown showed up tonight, and he made all his free throws too, by the way. We'll talk about that in segment 2. Talk about the rise of the New York Knicks. Are they for real, America? Is it too soon to tell? I'll tell you right now, what I see right now, that team is to be feared, not respected. Feared.
Rome Odunze,
yeah. 6'3",
215.
Yeah, if the Pats went Jaden,
I want fucking that guy.
If the Pats went Jaden Daniels and got him at the end of the first round, I wouldn't be upset with that.
I don't know that he'll be there at the end of the first round.
I don't know.
What year is he in?
I think he's a junior. I think.
So he's coming out.
He can come out. He doesn't have to come out.
Oh, well, I mean he'd be smart too.
Yeah, but he's a stud.
What does it say? Why doesn't it give me his fucking year?
I don't know.
Come on.
Anyway, we'll come back segment 2, talk NBA. Boston Celtics, big win tonight against the Timberwolves, and the rise of the New York Knicks, all coming up in segment 2. See you in a minute.